Well, registrations for the second annual round of Australia's Pacific Engagement Visa Ballot close on Monday. The permanent residency visa exclusively for citizens from the Pacific and Timor-Leste provides the opportunity for up to 3,000 residents to live, work and study in Australia each year. Natasha Turia is a PhD scholar at the Department of Pacific Affairs and Research Officer at the Development Policy Centre at the Australian National University. She told Lucy Cooper it's been a slow start to the visa rollout.
When the visa was first announced and a job offer was a requirement for the visa after you were selected from the ballot, randomly selected, we always knew that securing a job offer would be the biggest hurdle. And since its launch last year, that remains the biggest hurdle for many applicants to get over that last line to qualify for a visa. So from what we've heard so far, and the latest data we have is as of October last year, of the 3,000 PEV winners, only around 1,000 visas were granted. So that's not halfway or even 50% of visas. So it's been a slow start, but hopefully, I guess, as the PEV becomes more popular here in Australia, particularly among employers, that we'll see an increase in ballot winners' ability to secure those job offers.
What countries really stood out in regard to the Pacific Engagement Visa?
Visa data that we've been able to receive from Department of Home Affairs, which is only up until end of April, and based on the number of applications that have been submitted by ballot winners relative to the quotas against each country, Fiji stands out as the best performing country in terms of converting visa applications onto visa grants. So they had a success rate of 93% compared to PNG, Timor-Leste and Vanuatu, who are in the 10 to 20% success range.
Do we know why not all lottery winners applied?
We can really only assume reasons why. And number one, perhaps it just wasn't the right time for that applicant. Sometimes there's personal issues that come up that make it incredibly difficult for them to complete lodgement or at least applying for the visa before the cutoff date. Number two, they probably didn't even know they won. Number three, they probably thought you needed a job offer before the cutoff date, and because they didn't have a job offer, they just didn't complete that visa application.
The Australian government has said 1,000 visas under the PEV have so far been offered. Would you consider this a success or a failure, given we know up to 3,000 could have been granted?
It's good to be fair, given that this is Australia's first time to launch any kind of exclusive PR pathway to the Pacific. So given that this is the first time that Australia has ever done this, I think that, expecting 100% success rate in its first round would have been, quite a high expectation on Australia. So the fact that they've already been able to just reach 1,000, I think, in this first release of the PEV is great. It could have been worse. To me, it's still great, positive news for the PEV. And what would be, I guess, critical moving forward is if those numbers drop off after successive PEV rounds.
From your experience and background of the Pacific Engagement Visa, what recommendations do you have that you think should be implemented to, deem this next ballot and then, visa allocations, I suppose, a success this time round?
I think given that the Tuvalu Treaty Stream has also come out, and they obviously have slightly more liberal visa settings, one of which does not require a job offer, I would expect all 280 visas for under the Tuvalu Treaty Stream to be granted. If that is the case for this round, it means that the job offer under the PEV for the other 11 participating countries makes sense for Australia to do one of two things. Number one, and it's probably the most radical, is to remove the job offer requirement altogether, similar to the two-value treaty stream. And number two, they grant a 6-month conditional visa after meeting all the other visa requirements, less the job offer, so that the PEP winners can enter Australia and apply for jobs here. This means that instead of asking for a financial proof of evidence of 12 months, it would only be for 6 months because the conditional visa is only for a period of 6 months.